How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to A Playmaker's View. I'm your host, Jamie Burdish, and today's episode is going to be a college pick'em series. So today, my friend Alex and I are going to be sitting down and going through our picks for the college bowl games for this year. I know everyone loves to talk about the national championship games, but it's kind of cool to recognize the smaller games that are going on. It's awesome to compete for a title like this, and as a sports fan, you get to sit down and watch a ton of football. So it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. Alex and I are going to, like I said, sit down, break down all these games for you all, and you can share who you want. So again, please comment who you think will win if you have a favorite school out there. I know I have a lot of Mizzou friends, and they're going to be watching those games. Alex goes to UNC. A lot of great small schools competing for a bowl, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get this thing rolling. All right, so we're just going to jump right into things, go through each of these games, say who we want, who we think is going to win based on stats or whatever else. So first game is Middle Tennessee and Toledo. Toledo, I know pitching coach for their baseball team over there, so I'm going to ride with Toledo in this one. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know anything about either of these teams, so let's go with Toledo.
Awesome. All right, so Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, Coastal Carolina is in South Carolina. It's not too far away. They got a good baseball team, so maybe they have a good football team. I know they were ranked for a little bit this year, so let's go with them.
Yeah, had a pretty good year overall. They've been ranked undefeated, so we'll ride with Coastal Carolina in this game. Western Kentucky and Appalachian State. I know we were joking about this earlier, but Appalachian State has a nice interactive TikTok, which everyone loves TikTok nowadays. I know their videographer, who's done a really great job over there. So shout out to him, and shout out to Appalachian State. I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, I've actually been to a game there in Boone, which is not too far away from UNC and from Greensboro, where I live. So yeah, it's a cool stadium, great atmosphere. It's a cool school. Let's go App State.
App State. All right, we got SC State and Jackson State. I know Jackson State is Deion Sanders' team, so might as well ride with them, ride with the Hall of Famer and a great athlete, so I know we probably would go with them.
Let's do it. The next one.
UTEP and Fresno State, and two other teams that we both don't know too much about, but I'd like to ride with a little bit of an underdog here. Let's go. I think we should go with UTEP.
All right, let's go.
All right. UAB and BYU. BYU's one of the ranked teams in the nation right now. Alex, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, I think they've had, from what I know, a decent program in the last couple of years. Zach Wilson, he's not really good at all in the NFL, but he was good in college. They have a good program. Let's go BYU.
Hey, he's still young, and he like you said, he's done really well for them. Overall, had a good program, so we'll take BYU in that one. Eastern Michigan against Liberty. What do you think in this one? This is the Lending Tree Bowl.
Yeah, don't know anything about either of these teams. I've driven by Liberty a few times. It's in Virginia. I would go Liberty, but I have a feeling you're going to want to go with Eastern Michigan on this one. Something tells me.
I don't know. I like, for some reason, I like this upset. But since you are the guest, that will be nice, and we will go with Liberty in this one.
Appreciate that.
Utah State and Oregon State. Oregon State has played really well all of this year. I believe they were ranked at one point. I could be wrong. But I would like to go with Oregon State in this one. Decent matchup, but they'd probably have the upper edge in this one.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Oregon State, Pac-12, probably play some better teams. So,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, we have Louisiana and Marshall. Marshall, I have a friend over at Indiana who played against Marshall in soccer. Unfortunately, came up short, but had a pretty good soccer team. I don't know about the football team. I would go with Louisiana, and they're also 23rd in the nation. So,
yeah, Louisiana actually played App State at that App State game. I think they won too. So maybe not though. I don't remember. But Raging Cajuns, let's go.
Yeah, they have the momentum as well. They've been playing really good as of late. Old Dominion and Tulsa. Tulsa's has a pretty good program for the most part, and pretty heavy favorites, minus 9.5 on the point spread. So I think we should ride with Tulsa on this one.
Tulsa it is.
All right. Kent State and Wyoming is up next. Wyoming is the favorite, but I think another underdog possibility in this one. It's only 3-point spread, but Kent State seems to be, they've played some decent teams, so I'd go with Kent State in this one.
Yeah, I actually have a cousin who went to Kent State, and I think Julian Edelman did too. He played quarterback for them, I'm pretty sure. So let's go with Kent State.
Let's do it. All right, UTSA and the number 24th team in the nation, San Diego State.
Yeah, I don't really care about either of these teams, but I like to think if we moved to North Carolina when I was in high school. That's why I go to UNC. But I feel like if I still lived in Colorado, I would have gone west for school. So in another life, I might be a San Diego State college student. So
interesting.
Why not?
Okay.
That shows you how little connection I have to either of these teams. So
yeah, underdog. The UTSA is an underdog. San Diego State is an underdog, but still ranked 24th. Makes you think if there were any sort of injuries, but we'll move on. We're going to go with San Diego State in that one. Next up, Mizzou and Army. Big Mizzou guy for myself, being from Missouri. And despite their horrible season, maybe there's a light at the end of the road. So I'm going to go with Mizzou. Hopefully can, again, be another underdog to win this bowl game and have some momentum going into the next season and have a positive season next year. So I know you'd probably agree with that, so we'll go with Mizzou. Next up, we got Miami of Ohio and North Texas. Alex, let's hear your thoughts on this one.
I have no thoughts on this one, except it looks like Blaine Gabbert's little brother goes to Miami, Ohio, so maybe him, but otherwise, up to you.
Yep, St. Louis guy, St. Louis family. The Gabbert's great family, great athletic family. So yeah, we'll go with Miami of Ohio. I had a friend in high school, Ryan Newton, who's a linebacker for them as well. So our vote will go to Miami of Ohio. Next up is Florida and UCF, two Florida schools playing in Tampa, Florida. Should be a pretty good matchup. Florida has had their struggles this year, but an SEC team, I think that they will come up on top.
I agree.
All right.
Nothing to add.
All right. We got Memphis and Hawaii. This is actually in Hawaii. So what do you think about that, having that little home field advantage? You think Hawaii's going to take it?
I think that's a big advantage. I think that's a bigger home field advantage than it usually is for other teams. So let's go Hawaii.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Georgia State and Ball State. We saw Georgia State, you and I, over at UNC earlier on this year.
Got killed.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
And pretty good game, pretty eventful game. So I think we should ride with Georgia State just because we saw them before.
Yeah, I think we toughened them up, and they'll be ready to go.
All right. Western Michigan versus Nevada. This is a quick lane bowl, and I actually have know someone who is a quarterback. Caleb Ellaby went to a rival high school of mine. Can throw the ball pretty hard, pretty far, and I think that they're going to take this one. I think he's a quarterback, so he can lead them to a bowl game, and personally think it's something that he deserves. So,
sweet. Let's go Western Michigan.
Boston College and East Carolina. Let's hear your thoughts on this. Another Carolina school.
Yeah. I don't know too much about either team. My roommate's girlfriend, though, goes to ECU.
Okay.
It's in Greenville, about 2 hours away from UNC. So let's go Pirates.
Little friendly connection. Okay, we'll go with that. So we got Houston and Auburn. This is an interesting one because it's an SEC team, but facing a really good Houston team, 20th in the nation, and a team I think has been really good all year, and personally would take them. I don't know if you feel any different, Alex, but Houston's been pretty good.
Yeah, I think anytime you got a team that's won a lot of games, they're 11-2. I think that's dangerous. So let's go with Houston. It's a shame Auburn's not gonna. They played so well against Alabama, but I don't think they're gonna cap their season off with W.
Yeah. All right, Air Force and Louisville, two teams I really don't know much about. So if you have anything, if not, we can just pick one.
Yeah, Air Force Academy is in Colorado, which is where I'm from. So maybe let's go Air Force.
Let's do it. Air Force.
Take them for their service.
Yes, thank you. Mississippi State and Texas Tech.
That Mississippi State quarterback can sling it. 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns. Let's go with Mississippi State.
Yeah, I agree. He's a great quarterback, possibly NFL quarterback. Yeah, it's a good choice. Mississippi State. UCLA and NC State. Probably another tough one for you. NC State is 18th in the nation, which is honestly where you would have seen UNC to start the season, or even.
Well, yeah, no, we don't need to say that, but
Sorry.
yeah, I like repping the state of North Carolina, but I don't like NC State, so let's go UCLA. Let's go Bruins.
All right, fair enough. West Virginia and Minnesota. What do you got here?
Yeah, I'm partial to the Big Ten. I think Big Ten's a lot better than the Big 12. Minnesota, I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to take care of business.
Okay. SMU and Virginia. Don't know much about SMU. I know Virginia has, I think they have a pretty good quarterback as well, and a bigger school as well. I think that they will take this one. This matchup's on December 29th on ESPN. It's going to be a great matchup, so I'll take Virginia in this one.
Sounds good.
Maryland and Virginia Tech. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, two of his brothers over at UMD, and my brother went to Maryland as well. So I'm partial to the Terps, and hopefully they take care of business. Yankee Stadium under the lights.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Let's go Terps.
Got Clemson and Iowa State. What do you think about this one? Clemson has had an up and down year, but still nationally ranked at 19. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dabo will probably have the team ready. Tough year for them, but I bet they'll take care of business.
Yeah. Next one is 14 and 16 Oregon and Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't have a head coach technically right now, so I think it would be wise for those sports bettors out there to take Oregon over Oklahoma just because of that factor. And Oregon has also had a really great year, so we'll ride with Oregon in that one.
Yeah.
Next up, Alex, go ahead and take the reins in this one. It's your own school, so North Carolina and South Carolina.
Yeah, let's go Heels, baby. I think that we were supposed to be a lot better this year than we ended up being. I think we started the year off ranked 10. So it's been up and down, but I think we'll cap it off with a good win. So let's go Tar Heels. No
shocker there. Tennessee and Purdue. Purdue has a really great team. Played some good teams, but I think Tennessee is going to come up in this one. I think they're playing in Nashville, which is good. We talked about this earlier at Hawaii. The home field advantage is a great, big momentum, adrenaline builder. So I'd ride with Tennessee. Next up, Pittsburgh and Michigan State. Michigan State has fallen off the ladder after losing to Michigan. I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't think the momentum is definitely on Pittsburgh's side in this one.
Yeah, Michigan State got embarrassed by Ohio State after that. Pittsburgh just, I believe, won the ACC. They got that Kenny Pickett, Heisman candidate. I think Pittsburgh's got this one.
Yeah. All right, Wisconsin and Arizona State, another one of those games that we don't know much about, or at least I don't know too much about. But I'm going to ride with Wisconsin. Just seems like a good pick there. I believe they are the favorites in that one, so we'll go with Wisconsin.
Sounds good.
Wake Forest and Texas A&M. What do you feel about that one? Wake Forest has played UNC this year. What did you think about that game, how they looked?
Yeah, I was at that game. That was a shootout. It was a great game. We actually came out on top, gave Wake Forest the first loss of the year. But I think they're a good team, put up a lot of points. I'll go Wake Forest on this one.
All right. Washington State and Miami. Pretty interesting matchup. I think Miami's going to take this one. I think that they competed against some better teams overall, and just have a force, have pretty good on paper lineup. So we'll run with Miami. Two smaller schools, got Central Michigan and Boise State. Boise State's known for their blue field, but they will not be playing on that blue field. What kind of factor is that going to play? What do you think? What do you think that's going to do for them?
Yeah, I think they're going to be thrown off by. They're going to look down. They're going to see green. It's not going to make any sense. I think Central Michigan's going to big win, big upset.
All right, so next we have Arkansas and Penn State. Arkansas is 21st in the nation. They've had a pretty good year. But so is Penn State. They've played some pretty good teams as well. What is your opinion? What would you take in this one? Would you take the team that's ranked or Penn State?
Yeah, I actually don't have any preference on this one. I'll let you go with this. Don't really know much about either team.
Okay. I honestly think that Arkansas has been a really good team overall this year, and again, an SEC team that's competed well against teams like Alabama and Georgia, which obviously are the big name teams. So I say we ride with Arkansas. Next up, we have Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. Notre Dame obviously was pretty close to making it into the semifinal games and eventually national championship. So do you think that they're going to beat up pretty well in Oklahoma State, or do you think Oklahoma State's going to be a shocker?
I would love for Notre Dame to kill them just to kind of get back at Brian Kelly, but they don't. I don't think they have done too well in bowl games in the past couple of years. So I would say Oklahoma State. I think that was an awesome win that they just had. So
Okay.
that would be my pick.
Yeah, let's ride with Oklahoma State. I think that'll be a really good game, interesting game. Okay, so we have Iowa and Kentucky. Iowa's been up and down the ranks this year. Big loss. They lost to Purdue, I believe, a while back, and honestly, they have a really good team, and I think that they will come out on top of this. But it is interesting to look at a team like Kentucky coming in and sweeping it away. So I don't know. What do you think in this game? My pick is going to be Iowa, but it is interesting to see the other side if you have an opinion one way or another.
Yeah, I really don't. I guess I would like to see Iowa win. But yeah, let's go Hawkeyes.
All right. Utah and Ohio State. I know you're a little bit of an Ohio State fan. If you want to get into depth about that, but another good matchup. I think Ohio State can take this game, but let's hear why you like Ohio State in this one.
Yeah, my dad went to Ohio State, so a big Buckeye fan, and I just think that they're a much better team than Iowa or than Utah. So
yeah.
hopefully Ohio State takes care of business.
Yeah, try to dodge an upset there. The last game that we're going to talk about before the Final Four is Baylor and Ole Miss. A really good game, 7-8 matchup. I think Baylor has been pretty good this year, and I think that the only concern I have is the competition they've played against. I know that they have played against some good teams, but Ole Miss is obviously an SEC team, and everyone favors SEC teams. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're kind of right on it. I think Ole Miss probably has played tougher competition, and I would go with them in this.
Okay, we'll ride with Ole Miss. Alrighty, so we have made it past all those games. That's a lot of games we talked about. Again, feel free to comment your choices, your picks for those bowl games, those smaller bowl games. But let's get into the 1, 2, 3, 4 matchups. So Cincinnati is going to be playing Bama on December 31st. Really excited to see this matchup. I know it's probably not going to happen, but Cincinnati does have a chance to knock off a team like Alabama. So first, I want to hear your thoughts on Cincinnati making it for the first time in a very long time, and then we'll kind of talk through who we think is going to win.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that Cincinnati got in. I think for a while people have been wanting to see a smaller team get into the college football playoff, and I'm happy that Notre Dame didn't get in this year. I don't know how much Brian Kelly played in that, him leaving, which is a shame because I think that's I just think it's a bad move to make, leaving your team at the end of the year like that. So I feel bad for them that they didn't get in just for that reason, but they haven't performed well in the playoff in the last couple of years. So I think it's good that Cincinnati got in. I think they deserve it. And I don't see them winning or really this being a close game, but I would love to see them do something in this. But
yeah,
that might be wishful thinking.
Yeah, as a sports fan, and I'd love to see an underdog like Cincinnati win. They've been playing really well the past few years, but Alabama is just Alabama, and they have another chance to win another national championship. Nick Saban is going to have his guys ready for this game. He's had a lot of time off, and similar to Bill Belichick, he can prepare a team to win championships, and I think we both can agree that Alabama is going to take this game and go to the national championship for the 100th millionth time in however many years. But it is what it is. They have a good team. They have a good foundation, and we'll move them up to the national championship. So the next one is Georgia and Michigan. I know you're not a big Michigan fan, so this is going to be a little bit of an interesting debate. The one thing you did mention is the Georgia's defense. Georgia has been really good all year long, and the thing with with Georgia, in my opinion, is that I think that they have played a lot better against teams than Alabama has. Alabama's just, Alabama, but Georgia's beat up on some teams really well. I mean, it is Mizzou, but they beat them by like 40, and um, just a lot of more competitive teams as well, beating them by 10 plus, 20 plus. So I think it would be a good choice to pick Georgia in this one, and I think you would agree just because you don't want Michigan. But on the other side, Michigan is riding on a lot of momentum and a lot of people kind of doubting them. So let's hear your thoughts on this. I know it's a little bit of a debate for you, or not really a debate for you, but it is more for me because I'm in the middle. But let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, Michigan has just a ton of momentum going in. And I think the Georgia defense was a little exposed by Alabama, but I think Michigan relies on their run a lot. And I think Georgia knows that. And I hope that they'll be able to just shut that run down, force Michigan quarterback, who, a lot of people doubt him, and he's been able to play well in the last couple of weeks. But I think if they make him beat Georgia, I don't think he will. I hope, because I just hate Michigan as a Buckeye fan, but I also think that Georgia's going to take care of business. I think they're going to win. I think that defense is going to bounce back after a rough week against Alabama, and I think we'll see a rematch.
Yep. Again, another rematch that we will see. A lot of people, this could be a year that we see another team other than Alabama and Georgia. So everyone's going to be watching. It's going to be exciting. But for us, we're going to take Alabama and Georgia once again. So let's get into that game, the national championship of the 2021-2022 season. I want to hear your thoughts first because, both teams have ups and downs. Like you just mentioned, Alabama was able to get past the Georgia defense. But what are some ways that you think Georgia can capitalize on the time off that they've had and, scout out the Alabama team if they were to play them to take a national championship home?
Yeah, I think it's always tough to bet against Saban. And like you said, he's like Belichick. He can win games in a lot of different ways. He's going to get his team ready. He's been there plenty of times before, but so is Georgia. I just think it's tough to beat a really good team twice. And Georgia's a really good team. And I just think it's tough to kind of play the same game and beat a great team the same way twice in the same season. So
Yep.
I think if Alabama beats Georgia, they're going to have to do something different. I think Georgia's going to be ready. And ultimately, I think, and I hope, just because I'm tired of seeing Alabama win national championships, that Georgia will come out on top.
I would agree. I think we're going to take Georgia as our winner this year. It's really tough to beat a team twice, like you said. And for the majority of the season, I think Georgia has had, has been healthy, has had a good season overall. Alabama has had some slips. They played a few teams and almost lost them. I remember watching LSU and a little bit scary moments against some of those matchups. And I think Auburn was pretty close as well. So, our national championship this year is going to be, our national champion is going to be the Georgia Bulldogs. Let us know if you agree or disagree in the comments, but I hope you all got a chance to have some fun with us and, see who we're picking. Again, feel free to comment who you're picking, but it's going to be a great stretch of football this month, one of the most exciting times of the year again, so hope you all are doing well and sit down and enjoy some football. So we'll be back with you guys very soon, but thank you, Alex, for joining us, and take care.